Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about it. So yesterday we were talking about long division. So we would say what times x would give us 2x to the third? So what should go in this box? 2x squared. Okay, and then we're going to take 2x squared and we're going to multiply by everything on the outside. So we're going to multiply here, and then we're going to say 2x squared times 2, which would give us what? 4x squared. And then we would subtract. And so we would get negative 3x squared minus 4x squared, which would give us negative 7x squared. And what will we do to this number? Just bring it straight down. Okay, then we're going to repeat the process. What times x would give us negative 7x squared? And that would be negative 7x. Negative 7x times everything on the outside would give us this. We're going to subtract 4x minus 14x. How does it say? 4x minus 14x will give us, it shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be. Oh, they automatically put this as a plus sign. So that'll give us 18x. And then you're going to bring down the next number. Okay, and then you're going to ask yourself, what times x will give us 18x? Well, that'll be 18. 18 times everything on the outside would give us 18x. And this would give us 36. When we subtract, this would cancel out. 5 minus 36 is going to give us that negative 31. Okay, biggest thing when you do this, you've got to be careful of those negative signs and kind of how you set it up. Okay, they were a little messy in here. All right, so we're going to use a different thing called synthetic division. This one we can't always use. I'm going to tell you the different ways that we can use it, but we can't always use it every single time. Long division is going to be our fallback. So on this first problem, we're going to go ahead and do it the long division way. So we've got 3x to the third plus 4x squared minus 2x minus 1. And we're going to divide by x plus 4. So we're going to ask ourselves, what times x would give us 3x to the third? And that would be 3x to the second. We're going to take 3x to the second and multiply by everything on the outside. And so that's going to give us 3x to the third plus 12x squared. We're going to change our sign and draw our line. So we're going to subtract. These will cancel. 4 minus 12 will give us negative 8x squared. And then we'll bring down the next term. We're going to repeat that exact same process. So what times x would give us negative 8x squared? Well, that's going to be negative 8x. Negative 8x times everything on the outside is going to give us negative 8x squared minus 32x. We're going to change the sign, draw our line. So these will cancel. Negative 2 minus negative 32 is going to give us 30x. And we'll bring down our next term. We'll repeat it again. What times x will give us 30x? And that's 30. 30 times everything on the outside will give us 30x plus 120. I'm going to change my sign and draw my line. So when I subtract, I'm going to get negative 1 minus minus 120. That's going to give us negative 121. So sorry, that's so low. Okay. Remember, when we actually have that remainder, we're going to bring it up here and then put it over whatever we just divided by. Okay, and I'll take a second and let you catch up. Okay, so one thing I do want to note is that whenever they say f of x divided by g of x, that's going to tell you, hey, you're going to divide these two things. Okay, so notice how they have f of x is this, g of x is this, and then you're going to divide. Okay, synthetic division, I feel, is an easier way. You do need to know this process just in case there's an error analysis type question. But synthetic division, what you're going to do is you're going to change the sign of whatever you're dividing by. So this will be -4. And we're going to put that guy in a box. Okay, so we're just kind of like putting him off to the side. Let me draw a better box. We're going to list out all the coefficients of the other polynomial that we're dealing with. So we're going to have 3, 4, say again. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit higher. Oh, nope, can't do that. Never mind. Okay, so this will be -4, and then we'll list out the coefficients. So 3, 4, -2, -1. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring down this first term. So that's just going to be a 3 down here. Now we're going to multiply by what's in this little box on the diagonal, and then we're going to add going straight down. So this is what it's going to look like. -4 times 3 is going to give me -12. When I add 4 and -12, I'm going to get -8. I'm going to repeat that exact same process. I'm going to multiply -4 times -8. And that's going to give me +32. I'm going to add going straight down. So that'll give me 30. I'm going to multiply again. -4 times 30 is going to give us -120. I'm going to add going down. That's going to give us -121. So now that we're here, what we're going to do is look at what the exponent is of this and take one less and write our x's out beside these. Now remember, this -121 is our remainder. So we are going to put this one over what we originally divided by, which is x plus 4. On the next one, remember, we're going to change the sign of whatever we're dividing by. So that's going to become a +4. Okay. We're going to list out our coefficients. Notice how there's the x term is missing. So we're going to have a 0x in there. So we're going to list out all the coefficients of these. So that's going to be 1, -5, 0, and then -2. So we're going to bring down our first term. We're going to multiply by what's in the box, by what's down here. So 4 times 1 will give us 4. -5 plus 4 is going to give us -1. Four times -1 is going to give us -4. 0 plus -4 is going to give us -4. And 4 times -4 is going to give us -16. And -2 plus -16 is going to give us -18. We're going to look at our exponents right here. We're going to take one less. And remember, this is going to be our remainder. So we're going to put that over whatever we're dividing by. Okay. The only way for us to be able to use this, though, is if the coefficient of what we're dividing by, so looking at this guy, if the coefficient, so the number out front, is 1, then we're good. And the exponent is 1. Okay, that's the only time that we can actually use this. So for instance, on the next one, we can't use synthetic division. Okay, we have to do long division. Okay, so on this next one, we would have to do long division. We couldn't do synthetic division. Okay, so what I want you to do is take a moment and try to do this next problem using long division. So that's the one with the box and actually drawing that out. Okay, so remember, all right, so remember, you cannot do synthetic division with this one because the coefficient is bigger than 1. Okay, so you're gonna ask yourself, what times 4x will give us 8x squared? And that's gonna be 2x. 2x times everything on the outside is gonna give me 8x squared minus 2x. We're gonna change our sign, draw our line. So these are gonna cancel. 34 minus -2 is gonna give me a positive 36x. And we're gonna bring down our next term. So what times 4x will give me 36x? 9. 9 times everything on the outside is gonna give us 36x minus 9. We're gonna change our sign, draw our line. So these will cancel. -1 minus -9 is going to give us 8. And remember, that's going to be our remainder. So we're going to have 8 over 4x minus 1. If you have something that looks like this, we see that this part is a quadratic, right? What we can do is we can actually factor this one and then figure out whether they are zeros or factors of this other polynomial. Okay, and I'll make that make sense in just a second. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna factor. Remember, when we factor, we're gonna identify our A, our B, and our C terms. And we're gonna say A times C, which is gonna give us -2. And our B is -3. So what two things can I multiply together to get me -2, but add together to get me -3? It's going to be -2. Nope, that's not going to work, right? Is there anything else that will work? Did you say -1 and 1? Okay, but do those multiply together to get you +2? Right? So is that going to work? No. So we probably won't be able to do synthetic division on this one. So we'll have to do long division again. Okay, so we're going to put this on the outside. Remember, on the inside, if we're missing any terms, we're going to put a 0 in for it. So this is going to be 0x cubed and 0x squared. So when we write this out, you want to include those. So now you're going to ask yourself, what times x squared will give me 4x to the 4th? That's going to be 4x squared. You're going to multiply 4x squared times everything on the outside. So that's going to give me 4x to the fourth minus 12x cubed minus 8x squared. We're going to change our sign and draw our line. When we subtract, these will cancel. 0 minus negative 12 will give us a positive 12x cubed. 0 minus negative 8 will give us a positive 8x squared. And then we'll bring down the next term. Okay, just because there's 3 terms out here doesn't mean anything changes. Can you take a moment and can you finish this problem? All right, so let's take a look. So then you're going to ask yourself, what times x squared will give us 12x cubed? And that's going to be 12x. We're going to take that and multiply by everything on the outside. And that's going to give us 12x cubed minus 36x squared minus 24x. We're going to change our sign and draw our line. So these will cancel. 8 minus 36 is going to give us negative 28x. I'm sorry. No. 8 minus negative 36. We're going to add those together because that'll make it positive. And so that'll give us 44x squared. 5 minus negative 24, that's going to make that positive. That's going to give us 29x. And then we'll bring down our next term. Again, we're going to repeat that process. What times x squared will give us 44x squared? And that's going to be 44. 44 times everything on the outside is going to give us 44x squared. 44 times 3 is going to give us negative 132x. 44 times negative 2 is going to give us negative 88. We're going to change our sign, draw our line. So these will cancel. 29 minus negative 32. 132 is going to give us positive 161x. And negative 4 minus negative 88, that's going to be positive. So this will give us positive 84. Now remember, you're going to ask yourself if you can multiply anything times x squared to give you whatever's down here, and we can't. So this is our remainder, and that's going to be plus 161x plus 84 over all this junk on the outside. So x squared minus 3x minus 2. No, that's super tiny. I would normally go about doing this problem. That being said, this is still another way you can do it. So down here at the bottom, obviously this has an exponent of 2. So that means that we can't use synthetic division. However, can I factor this? I can rewrite this to pull out an x. So that's going to be x times x plus 1. Okay. When I have this x outside, this is kind of like saying x plus 0. Okay. So I could actually synthetically divide by 0. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. So with synthetic division, we're going to put that 0 in the little box. Remember, we're going to list out all of our coefficients. So we've got 3, 11, 4, and 1. Okay, so recap. I took this x squared plus x, and since we can't synthetically divide when it has an exponent of 2, we're going to see if we can factor it, which we can. That'll be x times x plus 1. When we have this x chilling out front, this is the same thing as saying x plus 0. So we're going to divide synthetically using that 0. So we're going to bring down that first term, multiply. So 0 times 3 is going to give us 0. We're going to add. That's going to give us 11. 0 times 11 is going to give us 0. And then we're going to add. 0 times 4 is going to give us 0. And then we're going to add. See, but that's going to make it even messier. Like, that's even messier. Like, it's the same thing. Okay. So if we have a remainder right here, that means that x plus 0 is not going to be a factor. Okay. Yeah, I would never have done. Right. Now, if I wanted to check and see if x plus 1 is a factor, I could do that by changing the sign, listing out my coefficients, and then dividing by that. So I can bring down the first term, multiply, add, multiply, add, and then multiply, and then add. Again, this means that x plus 1 is not a factor. That's going to be a -2. We're going to list out all the coefficients. So that's going to be 1, -4, 7, -2. We're going to bring down that first term. The 1 in front of that x to the third. We're going to multiply, add them together, multiply, add together, and then multiply. So that -2 times 19. And then add. Remember, we're going to take 1 off the exponent. So that's going to be x to the second, then x. And then this is our remainder. So we're always going to put it over whatever we just divided by.